All right, folks, following the release of the June jobs report, of course, President Biden called it Bidenomics in action. Well, I guess it was, because it was a very soggy and underwhelming report. So non-farm payrolls came in well below expectations by rising 209,000, but even that was the lowest since December 2020. Now, hang on a second. The prior 2 months were revised down by 110,000. So actually, we saw only a 99,000 new job gain in June. That is a very poor number. Plus, when you look under the hood some more, private payrolls increased 149,000. Itself, a very soft number. But 98,000 private jobs were revised out lower in May and April. So, actually, there are only 51,000 private sector jobs created in June. A very poor performance. Now, Mr. Biden, of course, skips over these factoids when he talks about growing the economy by creating jobs. Also, Biden's much-heralded manufacturing boom showed up a meager 7,000 job gain in June. That's after falling 3,000 in May, for a grand total of 4,000 new manufacturing jobs in the last 2 months. And in fact, over the entire past year, manufacturing jobs have only increased a paltry 14,000. As noted earlier, manufacturing production has turned negative over the past 3 months. Plus, the ISM manufacturing survey has fallen 8 consecutive months. Plus, business investment is falling. And that's a surefire recession warning. In fact, the entire jobs report is a recession warning. Now, the household employment survey, from whence the unemployment rate is derived, did rebound 273,000. That followed last month's 310,000 drop. But over the past 3 months, that survey has gained only 34,000. So we're in the double digits now for corporate payrolls, private jobs, small business, and we're in the single digits for manufacturing. Notwithstanding Biden happy talk, it's all a recession warning sign. Meanwhile, average weekly earnings up only 3.7% year on year. That continues below the 4% CPI and way below the 5.3% core CPI. And while the White House and even Wall Street keeps telling us about a strong economy, the fact remains we have been in a slump for the last 6 quarters, or 18 months. Even penciling in 2% for the second quarter, which we don't have officially yet, growth over the past year and a half was a stagnant 1.3% at an annual rate. And that's with sticky inflation that's more than twice the Federal Reserve's target. So politics aside, this is not really a brag-worthy performance. And here's distinguished economist Doug Holtz-Eakin last night on the show commenting on the Bidenomics story. Take a listen to this.
This is a messaging exercise. I don't know what bottom up, middle out means either, but I do know this. When they say he inherited an economic catastrophe, that is not true. He inherited an economy that was growing at 6.3% and had 1.4% inflation. That was great. And I'm particularly irked as a former CBO director that he continues to assert that he cut the deficit by $1.7 trillion when the Washington Post, of all people, gave him a bottomless Pinocchio for this.
Yes, indeed, a bottomless Pinocchio. Now, I'd say Mr. Biden inherited a boom and turned it into a bust. That's Bidenomics. And the president also managed to stick in his press release today a line about making smart investments in America. I think he means several $1 trillion of spending to subsidize the Green New Deal. But along comes physicist and climate expert and former Barack Obama Energy Department chief scientist, Stephen Koonin, who argues today in a Wall Street Journal op-ed piece that the economic impact of even a 4% worst-case global warming trend over the next 100 years would be minuscule on the economy. Minuscule. Heck, even Biden's own CEA is cited by Professor Koonin with an honest report on this subject. But Koonin argues, and I will quote him directly, the rest of the Biden administration and its climate activist allies should moderate their apocalyptic rhetoric and cancel the climate crisis accordingly. Well, gee whiz, I'd love to cancel the last couple of $1 trillion of climate spending. That might end the debt crisis, might lead to a balanced budget, might bring down the inflation rate, might even raise blue-collar, middle-class living standards. A little honesty in this game goes a long way. I wish it percolated all the way up to President Biden. It won't. Otherwise, I still say Bidenomics is baloney. That's my riff.